Its hadith are organized by subject. The book of taxes, the book of raids, and the book of jihad are examples. An online Bukhari translation by Mushin Khan opens with these words.
Sayyid Bukhari is a collection of sayings and deeds of Prophet Muhammad, also known as the Sunnah. The reports of the Prophet's saying and deeds are called hadith. Bukhari lived a couple of centuries after the Prophet's death and worked to collect his hadith. Each report in his collection was checked for compatibility with the Quran, and the veracity of the chain of reporters, or isnad, had to be painstakingly established. Bukhari's collection is recognized by the overwhelming majority of Muslims as one of the most authentic collections of Muhammad's Sunnah.
Finally, there is Muslim's collection. His work is complementary to Bukhari, for he was one of his students. Together, these 4 books give the Quran the context it otherwise lacks, and they give Muslims the religious rites, rituals, and rules they would otherwise do without. In fact, Islam's 5 pillars would not exist without the Hadith, and the Quran would be indecipherable. Speaking of the Quran, I encourage you to buy several, because translations differ. I have elected to combine 5 into a blended version for the purpose of communicating the nuances of an ancient and little understood language into contemporary English. These include Ahmed Ali, Pickthall, Noble by Khan, Yusuf Ali, and Shakir. I have corrected Allah's grammar, pruned his unruly repetitions, and tried to identify many of his dangling modifiers. There are so many missing and meaningless words, I have left the additions Arabic translators made because without them, Allah's message is hopelessly muddled. Fortunately, by ordering the Quran chronologically and by setting it in the context of the Islamic Sunnah, I believe its message has never been as clear as it is in these pages. Trying to hide the Quran's hostile and vile message, Muslim clerics claim that it cannot be translated. But that's nonsense. They simply don't want anyone to know what Allah's book actually says. They know it's unworthy, hateful, violent, and intolerant. The Quran is very nasty. It's dim-witted, demonic, and deceitful. It promotes immorality and inspires terror. That's not to say the Quran is completely void of rational thought. About 5% of it, taken out of context and mistranslated, can be misconstrued as peaceful and tolerant. For example, Quran 5:32 says,
On that account we ordained for the children of Israel that if anyone slew a person, unless it be in retaliation for murder, or for spreading mischief in the land, it would be as if he slew all mankind. And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of all humanity.
That sounds good until you realize that the line was plagiarized verbatim from the Mishnah Sanhedrin, and that it was followed by Quran 5:33.
The punishment for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger, and who do mischief, which is non-Islamic behavior, in the land, is only that they shall be killed or crucified, or their hands and feet shall be cut off on opposite sides, or they shall be exiled. That is their disgrace in this world, and a dreadful torment is theirs in hell.
Muslim apologists say that the Quran is tolerant because it says,
Quran 5:69. Those who believe in the Quran, those who follow the Jewish scriptures, and Christians, whoever believes in God and the last day, and does right, on them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve.
But this verse correctly translated says,
Whoever believes in Allah shall not fear and grieve.
Further, it must be plucked from its context, as the surrounding verses proclaim,
Quran 5:13. But because of their breach of the covenant, we cursed the Jews and made their hearts grow hard. They change words from their right places, the illiterate prophet pronounced, and forgot a good part of the message that was sent to them. Nor will you cease to find deceit in them. 5:14. For those, too, who call themselves Christians, We made a covenant, but they forgot a good part of the message that was sent to them, so we estranged them, stirred up enmity and hatred among them. 5:17. Say, who has the least power against Allah if he were to destroy Christ, the Messiah, and everyone else on earth? 5:37. The Christian disbelievers will long to get out of the fire, but never will they get out. Theirs will be an unending torture.
This next verse also sounds tolerant, at least until you read what follows.
Quran 5:46. And in their footsteps we sent Jesus, son of Mary, confirming the law that had come before him. We sent him the gospel. Therein was guidance and light, and confirmation of the law that had come before him. Quran 5:49. Judge between them by what Allah has revealed, and follow not their Christian desires, but beware of them, lest they beguile you, seducing you away from any of that which Allah has sent down to you. And if they turn you away from Islam, be assured that for their crime it is Allah's purpose to smite them. Quran 5:51. Believers, take not Jews and Christians as friends. 5:59. Say, people of the book, do you disapprove of us because we believe in Allah and in the revelation that has come to us? Say, shall I point out to you something which is worse than this by the treatment it received from Allah? Those who incurred the curse of Allah and His wrath, those Jews He transformed into apes and swine. 5:72. They are surely infidels who blaspheme and say, God is Christ, the Messiah. But the Messiah only said, Children of Israel, worship Allah. Lo, whoever joins other gods with Allah or says he has a partner, Allah has forbidden paradise, and hell will be his abode. 5:73. They are surely disbelievers who blaspheme and say, God is one of three in the Trinity, for there is no Ilah, God, except one Allah. If they desist not from saying this, verily a grievous penalty will befall them.
Allah's only interest in Christians and Jews is tormenting them in hell.
Quran 98:1. Those among the people of the book who disbelieve would never have been freed from their false religion if the clear proofs had not come to them. An apostle of Allah came reading out of hallowed pages containing firm decrees. They were commanded to serve Allah exclusively, fulfilling their devotional obligations and paying the zakat tax. Surely the unbelievers from the people of the book will abide in the hellfire. They are the worst of creatures.
The Quran's message is intolerant, hateful, and violent. There is another reason Muslim clerics and kings don't want the Quran translated. By doing so, their biggest deception dissolves. Muslims protest that Allah is simply the Arabic word for God and that we all worship the same spirit. But that's simply not true. The Quran says that Ilah is the Arabic word for God and that Allah is His name.
Quran 3:62. This is the true explanation. There is no Ilah, God, except Allah. Quran 52:43. Have they an Ilah, God, other than Allah? Quran 5:4. Pronounce the name of Allah and fear Allah. Quran 21:107. Say, it is revealed to me that your Ilah, God, is only one Ilah, God. Quran 28. Allah. There is no Ilah, God, save Him. Quran 20:14. Verily, I am Allah. No Ilah, God, may be worshipped but I. Quran 20:97. Your Ilah, God, is Allah. There is no Ilah, God, but He. Quran 59:22. Allah is He. No other Ilah, God, may be worshipped. He is Allah, whom there is no other Ilah, God.
This is important because the Judeo-Christian God, the God of the Bible, has a name, Yahweh. Not only isn't Allah Yahweh, His character could not be more opposed. Allah is a very nasty and deceptive fellow.